on, guys? Welcome back to the Raw Educated Analysis of Life podcast. I got my co-host next to me, Boonie. How you
Hi
doing?
guys. Hi, I'm doing fine.
And we have a very special guest in the building, Miss Fiona. How are you?
Hi guys. I'm good. Let me greet you guys in my language. Sanbonani.
Oh,
Sanbonani.
that's beautiful.
San, yeah, it means hello.
So, I just learned something.
Right.
I'm gonna use it. So the reason I decided to invite Fiona onto the podcast is because Unique, we had a conversation on a TikTok live the other day. And it was just very interesting. Like people showed up and we started having a conversation and I asked her would she be down to be on the podcast. She was telling me she was from South Africa and how much she misses home because she live you're in New York right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. That's gotta be a super culture shock.
Yeah.
A whole lot. A whole lot. It's kind of busy. It's cluttered. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
How long have you been in Brooklyn for?
I got here last year, on the 13th of April. Yeah, last year on the 13th of April.
Oh wow! And it's just immediately like I was saying on the live, I'm just like, you really got into America. Like that's the hood. Immediately, like skip the tourist attractions and everything.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
so I want to start with your story and like how you grew up. So you had told me a little bit yesterday, but I want you to kind of repeat it for the people. So
Oh, okay.
you were where were you born?
I was born in South Africa. So,
What city
Mama,
in province?
it's KwaZulu Natal. It's where it's mostly made up of Zulus. I'm sure you know Zulu people. You've heard
Mhm.
about them, Shaga Zulu. Yeah. So it's in KwaZulu Natal. So my mom was she wasn't that educated actually. She only went up to primary school. We call it primary school. I think for you, what is it here? Elementary?
I think that would be elementary,
Yes.
probably.
Yeah. So she was working as a domestic worker for this two white people. And they didn't have kids of their own anyway. So she used to work there and she was staying there in the domestic quarters in the back. So I was born into that house, like so she carried on working and I used to go to daycare and she was working. Um I've never known my dad. I think my dad must have been some married dude from somewhere because he never made contact. So I'm sorry, guys, I suffer from sinuses a lot, a lot. So I can feel my nose is itching already. So what happened is she passed away. She had a lot of ailments, a lot. And medical wise in South Africa, okay, well, in those days, it was a privilege. So I think some of the things she could have been helped. But anyway, let's move past it. So she passed away when I was 5 years old. So the white people who she was working for, they took me back to where my mom was from. Like it's
Wait,
like 2 hours away.
a quick question: were you aware that she was sick? Because you were so young when that.
No,
So you had no
no,
idea.
Oh wow.
no. The only thing that I knew she was sick because she also had epilepsy. She used to fall a lot
Mm.
Mm.
and start the shaking stuff and whatever. So those people had to take me back because now she had passed away. So so they took me away with her husband. And then when they got there, and this is what I was told happened. I remember it vividly. I was very, very young, but I remember the reception that I got when we got there. So then they explained that now her mother has passed away, so you guys are gonna need to take care of the child. My mom's and sisters and the uncles and my grandmother was still alive. They were still there. Then they rejected me because obviously she was not educated, meaning she doesn't have savings. She was broke. They've got their own stuff to take care of, their own kids. So they said, no, we can't take care of her. But what you guys can do, you guys can take her to an orphanage. We've got a lot of orphanages in South Africa. And I think they thought twice about it and they decided, no, we're going to keep her. So they raised me, and I've never had contact with my mom's family ever since. They do call now that I'm in America. Apparently, I have dollars. So now I'm kind of a little bit important, you know, because now I'm in America. But they've never had that relationship of saying, you know what, this used to be my daughter's child. This was my sister's child. Let me connect and check how is she in school or what is happening. So I just grew up there, and everything was. They treated me very, very well. I never felt like, you know, I didn't belong. Uh, which would make me my first language then became a white person's language, which is Afrikaans. It's used by mostly white people in South Africa. So that's one now. Afrikaans became my first language. I started speaking Afrikaans. So I've always had that thing of, I think this is where my depression comes in. I've always had that thing of I don't know if it makes sense. Like I can't make friends easily. It feels like if I'm gonna get close to a person, they're gonna leave. You know,
Right,
it's like
right.
they're gonna leave. And my kind of love, because I used to take antidepressants before when I used to see my psychologist. When I had an issue of cutting myself. That was way back. My depression is much better now. So because I felt like I didn't belong in schools in South Africa. If you guys know the history, there's a lot of, we used to call it apartheid. I think
Yes,
you
I was
guys,
just talking about apartheid. Yes, yes.
yeah. So I used to go to white only schools, and I was black. And I felt so out of place because there wasn't a name that I wasn't called in that school, even though I spoke fluent Afrikaans and I could speak just like them. But I even felt it like, you know, this is where the cutting came in, because I feel like, you know what, there's no point because I don't belong. When I am playing with other African black kids, they say I don't belong. You are a model C person. You rich, man. You from the suburbs. Your house is facing the ocean. You living in a rich area. You don't belong. You don't know our pain. And that wasn't the case. I tried to force myself everywhere, but I always met rejection. And now this is where the story comes in of me getting my sort of a freedom, and then I dated a wrong guy. So I dated this guy. He was a taxi driver. In South Africa, taxi drivers are known for violence.
Really?
So
Wow.
yeah. So taxi driver, we don't mean like Uber. Taxi driver, I mean like a minibus where like 16 to 18 people fit in.
Oh, so a bus driver in America.
Yeah. So so I dated him not because I really, really loved him. I think it was one person who made me feel like I belong, but I didn't actually belong. I felt like I belong. He didn't love me. He only wanted me because he knew where I came from. So I'm dating this rich kid. Family has business. It's white people. They seem rich. So if I date her, probably I'll get a slice of that. And when I broke it off, I think it was after a few months I broke it off. It's just that it's gonna be inappropriate if I have to show you. I've got a scar here. It's a machete. That's when now he beat me up with a machete, and he was trying to kill me because he didn't want to lose me, but not lose me because he loved me, but because he thought there was something to gain. And all the things that my adoptive parents have, they are not mine. They are theirs. They just brought me up. But whatever they own, I can never say that I am rich because those things don't belong to me. It's their things. And that's the thing with people. People don't understand. People will always see you as that rich child. Yeah, but life has been tough. But in all the toughness, I think that you know, I've learned to live with everything that has happened, because I'm not the only one who's been through a lot of things. A lot of people have been through worse than what I have. My only issue and only thing that I want to work through, it's the issue of getting attached. I get attached. That is why I'm scared also to make friends, because I know people are gonna walk away. So yeah, so basically that's
That,
just me in a nutshell.
that's why I told you last night when we were talking that I'm really gonna be your friend. Like I'm not going anywhere. You know, like
Yeah.
it's real. So
So
that's
it's like abandonment issues,
Yeah.
kind of. And maybe like anxious attachment style,
Yeah.
like that. But um I understand why it's like that. We understand. I understand because of your background or whatever. But like he said, you can find friends. You can find people that's gonna be around forever.
Hmm.
It's possible. So
yeah.
I feel like I know that it takes time to kind of like feel comfortable about it, but it
Yeah.
definitely can happen. I definitely think you should open your mind to it and your heart as well. And like, if you need somebody to check people for you, I got you.
Yeah, people gonna don't do you wrong and not say nothing. We gonna say something to them like,
Exactly.
hey, what you doing? Like, so I have a question about: do you harbor any resentment towards your mother's family for not being there for you?
um, I used to before. I used to honestly, but when I look at it now, I think they as much as it was painful, they did me a favor.
Mm,
Their kids didn't actually go to good schools, I'd say. They've got kids and they're not married. They've got like a couple of kids.
Mm.
At this age of 40, I don't have kids. And I've gained that education, and I think I would have also fallen into that because it's sort of a trend. I don't know, but I miss the love, I miss the roots, I miss like black people. Like in Africa, we do a lot of rituals. I never got to attend those rituals. I never got to have a ritual like that, so I feel like I missed out, but in the same time I gained a lot. I gained a lot, except that it's just that my self confidence, I think it has been bruised a lot. And honestly, I don't know how to make friends. So last year, my he was still my fiance, my husband now. He bought me like music equipment because even when he used to ask, we need to go out, I'm taking out to dinner, I don't feel comfortable. I've got that thing like, even when I'm out, it's like somebody's looking at me and they're just saying, she doesn't fit in here, she doesn't belong. So I don't know how to play any of these music equipments yet. I'm just messing with the stuff, at least, because he was worried that he said the depression will eat you up because you don't want to go out, you don't want to make friends. So maybe if you can find something that you can do, maybe it can take you know, it can just keep you company, because even with people, I don't know, you understand, like you want to be with people, maybe visit, socialize, but you can only survive like for an hour. That's the most I
yep,
can survive amongst
that is
people.
the introvert way. Like I completely understand
Sound
that.
very
It,
introverted. Then you
your,
get drained and
your
feel
people
like
Yeah,
I need to
meter is
go
out.
home.
That's enough right there. That's enough people for today.
yeah. Even when you visit me, I want you to stay like maybe like for 30 minutes or so and then go. I don't want you like,
I
it's so
completely
wrong.
understand.
Why don't you look at the time? It's time for you to leave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it.
Um but what would your advice be like on the depression? Because I think depression is different for everybody. Um like what is your advice for somebody who's got depression? What would your advice be when you feel it like really today it's got me down? Because there are days like that.
Mm. I feel like you gotta force yourself to get up. You gotta force yourself to be productive, to be active.
Yeah.
And it's also okay to sit in your depression for a little while, but you give yourself a time limit. And it's like,
Mhm.
after this, I'm gonna get up. Give yourself a routine. You can meditate, like you were saying, like you missed a lot of the rituals and stuff like that from your mom's family. It's not too late
Mhm.
to learn and to practice those rituals. I think that will be a start. It'll also help you to find that bond with your mom's
Yeah.
family, even if you're not in their lives. Like, I think
Mhm.
that's a start. But you have to kind of force yourself, and also in spaces like you're uh introverted, like you kind of have to break out of that, like talk to people. Sometimes when you go to different places, it may feel awkward, you may feel out of place, but a lot of the times the way that you feel is a lot of times just in your head because of the
Mhm.
things that you've gone through. So you have to remember that, like, whenever you think, look at everybody's looking at me, think to yourself, they're not looking at me, like this is just how I feel. But um I think interacting with people a little more will help you to open up to it, to being around them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think if you do that, you'll find that there's a lot more good people out there. Because
Right.
there are bad
Yeah.
people, but if you just start making conversations with people, you'll find out that there's a lot of things that you have in common. There's certain things
Mhm.
that are not exclusive
Yeah.
to America or South Africa. Just like your
Mm-hmm.
story, there's some people that like I grew up. My parents were well off a little bit, so people
Mm-hmm.
thought that my parents were rich. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
rich. I'm like, no, I'm broke. they, they
Yeah.
they have money. I don't.
Mm.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's a big difference. One thing I would recommend first is like I told you last night. I sent her the Insight app. So
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah,
meditation,
yeah.
the meditations really do help. Also, finding things to pour your depression into, whether some maybe it could be something creative, like I write poetry, but it don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be that for you. It's just try something until you like it. To where
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
like this, like the music instruments. Maybe you don't like the guitar, but you like the piano, and then you just play around. Even if it don't sound good to you, it might be fun to you. And once you start finding areas and avenues to pour yourself into,
Yeah.
the depression will start to lift. Even for those times, because sometimes like, I'm a cutter too. Like I have cuts on my arms. I was a cutter
Mm.
until I was in my 20s actually. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um but finding things that I'm passionate about is what really
Mm-hmm.
helps. Because when I'm creative, I don't care about anything else. Or when I'm
Right.
having interactive conversations like this, like it kind of dissipates. I know that eventually it might come back,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that I don't sit in it. Like she said, you can sit in it for a
Right.
little bit. Okay, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
depressed for 2 hours today. You know
Right.
what? I need to get up
Yeah.
and go take a shower and do something because once you start doing something, distracting yourself from the depression, it
Mm-mm.
it takes it away a little bit. I'm not saying it's gonna fix it. I'm
Yeah.
Right.
not saying
Right.
it's
Yeah.
gonna fix it because the struggle of depression is real. It's something that we have to cope with, but it's a process. Like not gonna sit in
Mm.
it for all day today and think bad thoughts about myself because or talk to somebody like one of us. You need an
Right.
affirmation or
Yeah.
something. We're gonna tell you you good, you're fine. Everything will be okay. Like we're having the team around you is important. Support system.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
True.
creating your own little family, but also tapping into your inner child. Like, what are some things
Mm-hmm.
that you loved as a kid? Doing
Yeah.
things that you loved as a kid also helps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the other day, my husband told me that I can actually make friends around here because it's mostly like black people that stay here. So I tried, but I actually laughed after when I got home. But I literally was shaken up. I was scared. So I woke up to this lady like we're doing the laundry at the laundry. So I see she seems nice because she greeted me when I came in. So then her friends comes in. So I'm looking at her because I thought maybe she's also gonna greet them. They're gonna introduce me. Instead, she switched me off. Like she said, she ain't looking at me, is she? And I was like, and you know that the I don't want to say the American behavior that we see in the movies, that aggressive part. She was like that, and you could see like she's a real Shaniqua. She's like, you ain't looking at me. Like, I am so tiny. I am skinny. So I don't want to fight because I know them. So you ain't looking at me. Are you? She I'm like, I'm sorry. I got my bag and I was out of it. So he was telling me that you do find some of them that are like Shaniquas, they'll be like that to you, but others are generally nice. So I'm just hoping maybe I'll meet somebody around, maybe someone I can even go to church with, or
Hmm.
It's just
yeah,
about making that connection and then being able to shut it off if they do something like that. Okay, that's not the right person.
Yeah,
'Cause
keep it
If I was
moving.
yeah,
if I was there though, I probably would have called them out though, because I really hate people
That
that
switch
treat
up.
yeah, like no, you were not acting like that 5 minutes ago.
Why would you even do that? That's
yeah,
so weird.
It really is like what are you afraid of getting judged? But those people are showing their insecurities by doing that.
Right.
yeah.
They are insecure. They have their own insecure issues.
Yeah, it also
Okay.
shows you that people aren't like like you think, because for her to do that, she obviously does have, like you said, insecurities.
Hmm.
I, I have a question about the
So, oh, okay. I wanted to find out, guys, if maybe it's just me. Does like with depression, does it affect anything else besides like your daily life? Like for me, I should be on my honeymoon phase, but there are
Mm.
like days when I'm just like I don't know. Am I lesbian? I don't know. But right now, I don't need a man. Like I feel like that
Right.
sometimes. But I'm not saying I want to go and date a woman. But sometimes it feels like that. Like when he touches you, just like, dude, go to sleep. Like, but you don't want to say it loud. Yeah, I don't want to say it loud because I don't want him to feel bad or anything. There's nothing about him, but it's just me. It can go up like for weeks. I'll be like, and I even pretend I'm sleeping sometimes. I do that. Or I'll just go grab a pad and put it on and pretend I'm on my period. You don't want to touch me now. So is it normal for depression to
Some of
affect
them
other
will.
areas?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is normal for sex drive to go down with that. I've
Yes.
experienced points where even me being a man where I don't want it at all. That's the
Right.
last
Yeah.
thing on my mind is being physical with you right now. Even when I'm married, so there's points where I'm not into it right now, and I will
Yeah.
force myself, but that's not the right way to go about it. You have to
That's right.
True.
communicate to your partner that hey, it's not you, it's me. It's I
Mm-hmm.
really don't feel like it, and ask your partner, do you really want to do it, even though I don't want to?
Yeah.
Like, because the beautiful thing about sex is it's when two people want to do it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if both parties are not willing participants, then it's no longer fun. It's like, okay, well, maybe figure out other times what other ways you can show intimacy. Maybe let's watch a movie
Yeah.
right now, and I'll kick my legs up on you. That's intimacy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
lay my head on your shoulder because maybe you're not saying that you don't want to be close to him, but the the
Yeah.
the physical act of sex is a thing. So maybe come up with different things, and he'll be understanding if you just break it down. Like, hey, I'm just not into it right now, and it's not
Yeah.
you, and you got to understand it's not him. It's how you
Yeah.
feel, and when it is time for that, then you can express, but he has to get to understanding that not everybody is the same. No two
Right.
people are the same when it comes to sex.
Mm-hmm.
There is high sex drive, and people want it all the time, and there's some people that don't have any. There's asexual people that don't like sex at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. But yeah, it's definitely important to open up to your partner and let them know how
Mm-hmm.
you feel. And hopefully they're receptive of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a difficult conversation because in today's society, they feel like it's a reflection on them
Right.
instead
Mm-hmm.
of instead of it being just about the person. Like, just because I don't want you doesn't mean that something's wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
It
Right.
just means that I don't want to do it right now. Like, and
True.
accepting that is a big part of communication, and it'll
Mm-hmm.
it'll, it'll help push things forward, and then you can find different ways to be intimate because ultimately the like for me, I want intimacy, but it doesn't have to be sex.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I want intimacy, but like I said, it could be let's watch this TV show and you lay on my shoulder. And the
Right.
fact that we
Mm-hmm.
laughed together and shared that time, that fills my intimacy tank for that day. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So it's not just one way to go about it. I
Mm-hmm.
I, I had a question about the mental health care in South Africa. How is that? Like, because you were a cutter in South Africa, how did they deal with it out there? Was it
Um, for me, in rural areas, like rural areas, they will tell you, like, I'm not sure if here is it the same, but in there they will tell you that you bewitched, you are cursed. There are illnesses or sicknesses that when you have them, they don't believe that you are really really sick. In South Africa, like for example, you can be HIV positive in the rural areas. They'll tell you you need to go speak to your ancestors and become a sangoma, a traditional healer. It's your ancestors speaking to you. That's why you are sick. Instead of them saying, take your medication, your ARVs. There are illnesses, things that they believe it is. They need traditional way of dealing with them, or they will tell you you need to whip that child because there's no way that a person can just start cutting themselves. But then you find the white community, they understand mental health because for them it is an illness. But now in schools they are teaching it in African schools back home. So I think they're having a more understanding of it much better than it was way back. But
That's good.
yeah, it is because it's like, oh my God, she's crazy. She needs to be to be taken somewhere where a traditional healer will cleanse her of this evilness, or because they believe a lot in traditional things, and some of them they do work. But when you are faced with an illness, you need to use medicine, and you can't be telling me, yeah, you ain't gonna cleanse me with a goat's blood and I'm just gonna be okay.
Trust me, I know.
That's not gonna work. It's crazy
Right.
that we have that similarity here
Yeah,
in
it's the same
America.
here.
It's
Yeah.
the same here. People think, oh, you're just crazy. Well, the kid has ADHD. Well, we didn't have ADHD when I was growing up. We just whipped their butts. It's just like
Right.
that is not the
That's the
solution.
answer for everything.
That's
Like
not the
with
solution.
and
It-
even for
Yeah.
illnesses that aren't mental illnesses, like for instance, I have sickle cell disease, and I get a lot of people telling me to take certain things to cure me, and they don't understand that sickle cell disease cannot be cured by you taking certain things because it's a genetic, it's like a defect. It's your blood is defective. So unless you're doing some type of surgery or something like that, or some type of procedure where it changes the way
Yeah.
your hemoglobin makes your how your blood is made, then you can't really do nothing to cure it. So I really, yeah, so it is similar when it comes to illnesses. We get that a
Yeah.
lot. We're just talking about mental health in the Black community in America, and it's still hard to talk about it with the elders.
Yeah.
and you will still have a possibility of being ostracized in
Yes,
your own family
in your
because
family.
people don't want to. They're afraid to talk about it. So
Yeah.
it's crazy that it's the same way there. Like
Yeah.
that's why I feel like we are all one. Like we are all one
Yeah.
Right,
because we have the same struggles. It's just it looks a little different here and it looks a little different there. But it's the same struggle.
right,
And like there are diseases or illnesses which are called white people illness. Like if you say you've got stress, people will say that's a white person illness, stress. Or if you've got depression, it's a white person thing. There is no white person thing when it comes to mental health. Is a serious illness. It's
right,
serious. It's there. There's no such a thing as, oh, it's white people who've got those things. No, everybody gets it. You need, if you've got this, then if there's nobody there for you to help you, this is how people end up committing suicide. Because
right,
nobody believes us when we say, I'm crying for help. I need somebody to be there. I need somebody to help me through,
right.
But let's just say, I'm amazed right now that, South Africa has really evolved with time. There's a lot of things that they're introducing, and people are being educated about HIV. People are being educated about dementia, because way back when you had dementia, they had to get a cow for you, slaughter it, and then bathe you with the blood, and then plead with the ancestors. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like an awful experience to have to go through something like that. Like, mm,
And the
it,
issue not being resolved.
right?
And
Like,
you would think that when they do that and the issue isn't resolved, it would make them look at it like, well, maybe this is something that needs a doctor or where you need medicine.
Yeah.
But no, they still keep believing things the traditional way.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
I have another question for you. So you said when you grew
Okay.
up, apartheid was still part of the society, right?
Yeah.
So when did like how old were you when that was not like a thing anymore? When they kind of got rid of it, or did they ever really get rid of it? Because like in America,
Yeah.
the civil rights movement, we kind of desegregated schools, but we really didn't desegregate. Like we
Right.
did, but we didn't. Was it like that out there as well?
Yeah. I think most of the white people in South Africa still have their thing of, this is ours. So what they've done, because now they can't say it's a white only school, what they've done is they've taken up the tuition
Mm.
sky high, because now they know that you're not going to afford it. You're not going to afford it. You're probably earning that amount of money for a month. You're earning it in a year to take their child to that school. So that's what they've done. They've made it impossible, almost impossible. So now the rich kids, like maybe if your family is into politics, they big shots. Now you will go to those schools. So those that can't afford it, then you're still gonna be stuck there. And the education, when you compare it, rural school education and then the town schools, it's totally different. Totally.
It is
So they
It's very sad.
changed it from racism to classism.
exactly.
Basically
Yeah.
what they did here.
It's the same thing here. There's the white schools, which we all know that you just
Mhm.
got to pay that high tuition for, and then you got the
Yeah.
black schools where we got the old books,
Yeah.
outdated books. And we're supposed to all
Classrooms packed.
Yeah.
yes, 40 to 1 is the ratio a lot of the time in those classes.
Yes.
40 students to 1 teacher, or more. I've seen worse too. Like
Yeah.
so. Do you feel like did you feel the impact of Nelson Mandela like when you were younger? Because he became president there like in the early 90s, didn't he?
Yeah. Um, for me, really, no. Not at all. I'm not going to lie. No,
I
no.
appreciate the
They were
honesty.
doing, yeah, like they were doing things that, sometimes we become heroes and then we forget the reason why we were doing what we were doing. And then we get sucked into being worldwide known because half the things that they promised way back then that they were going to do for the poor, even now, down the line, those things are not done. There are still kids back in South Africa that have to cross river to get to school. Sometimes the rivers are flooded when it's raining. Kids, I'm talking about 7 years, 8 years, they're going to school. There's no bridges. And we still have an issue of gender-based violence. If you've watched the news, you've seen in South Africa, how high is that? Like the gender-based violence. And then also you've got um, I'm not sure if it is a worldwide thing, but in South Africa, we have that where we're finding in rural areas young guys about 20 or 25, they will break into houses where old women live. Maybe she's living alone. They will rape her, like literally. They will rape kids that are younger than 5. So a lot. We need a lot of, crime fighting tools, or I don't know how to put it, but that's one thing we have in South Africa. It's the crime. And
There
if we
was
can just be rid of it,
there was
Yeah,
a comedian. His name is Trevor Noah, and he grew up there. And he was like,
yeah,
911 is not an option like it is out there. They have an option, but he was making a joke, but it was so serious. He said that you can call and they will actually ask you questions about like, is it that serious? Is it really an emergency?
yeah. They will
Here,
ask you, do we really have to come? Can you not scream for somebody
wow.
next door for help? And when they do come, it will probably take them about an hour or so to get to you.
So pretty much the same. Yeah.
There's a lot of good things in South Africa. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of good things, but if you have to check online, you will see that crime is one of our biggest problems. Crime and corruption in the government. So they are just there's a lot of corruption going on there.
I'm always
Survival
big.
of the fittest.
I'm always big if I want to go visit another country. I want to see
Mm.
the genuine people there. So what would
Yeah.
you suggest for me? Because I don't want to go to just like Johannesburg, South Africa, and I want to see the real people there. What would you
Hmm.
suggest? Because I know you said it's dangerous, but there's also areas out here that are dangerous. But
Yeah.
if you know somebody there, then you'll probably be
Yeah.
okay. Is it like that
Yeah.
out there?
Yeah. You see, Cape Town, it will be your Florida, where that's Los Angeles, Florida now. When you go to South Africa, when you go to Cape Town. And then you want to go to Joburg. Joburg is now your New York. That's
Mm.
where the hood is now, where all the, like, you've got to hold your phone close to you, your bag close to you. This is this is funny now, but it wasn't funny before because it happened to somebody I know. This person had locks because I'm looking at your co-host. She's got dreadlocks. When you walk, you should ask somebody that you know and ask them how much would somebody pay for your locks. In Joburg, they can literally grab you, get a scissors, cut your locks off, steal them from you.
So there's a market like people like that big of market people are stealing locks to sell them.
Yeah, Yeah, they
Wow.
resell them and reuse them. You've got a weave that is not glued or planted properly, they grab it off. But not
Wow.
all the areas. There are areas that are like bad with crime. Other areas are literally nice. Like you get Kwamashu is not. It's a township, but it's very, very good. It's safe. Soweto is good. There are a lot of townships that you can go to. You know, like they've got neighborhood watches, so it's a bit safer. But there are places that, as a tourist, I wouldn't advise you to go to them. But definitely go to KZN. You definitely have to go there. Definitely.
You were telling me earlier how much that like you miss the authentic food and everything.
Yeah.
Uh
Oh my
tell me
God.
tell
Yes.
me about like your food, like the diet there. Like what is it like being back
Okay.
home?
The food, what I've noticed here, like you want to make stew. Your stew, you put the meat in, and then the pot is filled with water, which you didn't put in there. In South Africa, when you put your stew, your meat in the pot, there is no water. Here, meat is filled with water, of which I can't understand where is the water coming from. The meat that you guys eat is totally different from our meat.
It ain't
I don't
real.
know.
That's why
It's fat.
it's not. It ain't real because if it was fat, it would be oil.
I have no idea. Like, but back home we have like the stable food. We've got mealie meal, which is like cornstarch. Like you mix it with water and a little bit of salt. That's like our starch. It almost looks like mashed potato. Um, we eat tripe. We eat basically we eat everything that you guys eat. It's just that we call it by different names. You guys call your KFC what is it a scone? You guys call it a biscuit. We call it a scone. Like you guys call cold drink soda, we call it cold drink back home. There's a lot of words that are not the same. They're absolutely totally different, but the food is basically the same, except that you go yuck when we speak about eating chicken feet, eating tripe.
Not over here where I live.
Not where I'm from.
Not where I'm from. They love that.
That must be a New York thing because we eat the gizzards and all.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because I've heard people say like yuck. You say we eat beef tongue, all these things. People go yuck. So I'm just like thinking then what do these people eat? What is your African American traditional food?
There's
Macaroni, collard greens.
soul food.
Yeah, soul food.
Food that's
Macaroni, collard greens, fried chicken, candy yams, perlo.
Yeah.
a
Because
lot.
when I came here, I thought I was gonna see my Diaz. When I come here, I
You
thought I
have
was
to
gonna
come to
see
the
all.
south.
I have to see the food that I saw in my Diaz movie. Like I'm like I haven't.
You gotta come to the south.
Oh
We get
God.
down over here.
A lot of that
Yeah,
stuff
I think.
is bad for you though, but it tastes so
It
good.
is. It tastes so good.
what what
Oh
is your
God.
favorite meal from back home that you wish that you could have with you here?
Um, mealy meal. I would love to have it here. I would really love. I miss it. I miss having my mealy meal. I miss having my herbs. We call. I'm not sure if you guys have it here, but I've looked and I haven't seen it. It's not spinach. It's a herb that grows with a pumpkin. Like you get those small pumpkins. I don't know what it's called. What you guys call it here? It almost looks like a spinach. So I would love to have that. Um, what else would I love? The beef tripe, because you guys have it here. It's all white. I don't know what you've done to it. What did you do? You bleach it or what do you do with it? But I know
It's
tripe is not supposed to look like
That's what I'm
that.
just about to say. I think
They process the food.
the difference between our food and your food is probably
It's
the
processed.
processing process. It has to go through all of this because even like I heard in other countries, certain things that have to be refrigerated here don't have to be refrigerated in other countries because it's
Right.
fresh. It's actually it
Mhm.
doesn't need. We just put so many chemicals into this stuff.
It's genetically modified. It's fake. It's artificial. It's
Yeah.
processed.
That's
So
crazy.
that's what I'd love to have from beans. I saw you guys have beans. I've bought beans quite a few times and I've cooked it for myself. I love beans. I'm not sure if you guys also know the dumplings, but you guys do it differently. Like they feed the dough and then steam bread, sort of.
Mm.
Mhm.
We have it like with
Dumplings.
oxtail. You guys
Oh
have that
yeah,
too?
Mm.
yes.
Oh, it's very nice. It's
That's
very,
a
very
southern dish. Oxtail and ooh, you,
nice.
Dumplings.
you got me thinking right now. Like
Yeah.
That's why I said she gotta come to the South.
for real.
But if you guys visit South Africa, you'll really enjoy it. And I think also currency wise, it will be so cheap for you guys to go
I know the American
because
dollar carries a lot of weight over there, right?
it does. I can send like $20 back home and it's about 400 rand. Somebody can buy grocery with that. So yeah, it's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Do you,
lot.
one thing I've heard that people have said that people aren't as welcoming when they go to, where we're this is our ancestors are from, the continent of
Mhm.
Africa.
Yeah.
Are people welcoming to American, like Black Americans over there?
Oh yeah. They love them. Oh my God. They totally. You'll be treated like a king and a queen when you go there. They really have that sort of a bond. I don't know who told us that we are all connected, but that's how it feels like when they go the other side. It automatically feels like we've known each other, like when they greet each other. So yeah, they'll totally welcome you.
I wish that
That's amazing. I
the
can't
the
wait to go.
opposite
It
would
is.
happen
Give me a
here.
sec. Sorry guys, I'm suffering from sinuses.
No worries.
It's
No.
okay.
No need to apologize.
Yeah, but actually I never had them when I was back home. I only got them when I got here. I don't know
That
why.
pollen,
The pollen. Yeah.
the
So
pollen,
Oh my
all of the
God.
stuff that they spray into the air and stuff
yeah.
like that,
Mhm.
chemicals and stuff.
I wish the opposite was true here with the welcoming. I wish we would be more welcoming to our African brothers and sisters when they come here, because a lot of
Yeah.
times they think that we're so different. It's just like we're not. We're we are the
We're
same.
not even welcoming to
We're
ourselves.
not.
Like, let's
We're
be
not.
real. We all go through this thing. Like when we're kids, like for instance, having dark
Mhm.
skin, you get picked at a lot when you're
Uh-huh.
a child. So we're not even welcoming to ourselves.
Mm. But do you guys feel like back in South Africa, we like for women, um, there's a lot of not a lot of body shaming, but for example, um, if you are skinny, you are associated with some sort of a sickness. That's another thing I used to struggle with in school because automatically when you are skinny, you are HIV positive. So that's what they used to call,
Wow.
and they call you like different name, chicken legs. They call you different. I used to suffer from a lot of hate like that. They used to bully me that I was ugly, I was skinny because I'm very dark, and I am
Mm.
skinny, and I can eat as much as anybody, but the weight, the doctor told me my metabolism is very fast. That's why I don't pick up the weight. So what they want is when they look at a woman, they want you to have the butt. So
Mm.
is it the same here in America that women are put so under a lot of pressure in fixing their bodies? Like you have to be a
Yes.
Absolutely.
certain.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And honestly, it don't matter what size you are. If you're skinny, you get called names. If you're thick, you get called names. If you're fat, you get called names. They have something like we just get picked at from all
Yeah.
angles.
One of
But right
the
now it's in to be curvy.
right.
That's what's in right now.
One of
Mhm.
the worst things that is not funny, but people really say it, and it's funny because you hear it all the time in the Black household, is
Yeah.
somebody comes that skinny, oh, they on that stuff. They automatically
Yeah.
think like they won't think HIV out here as much as they'll think that you're on drugs. The people think people
Oh
Yeah.
are
my
on
God.
drugs because they lost weight instead of maybe you're just doing stuff that's healthy. Maybe you're working out. No,
Or
you're
maybe
Mhm.
that's your body.
exactly.
Mm.
Because some people, I know a lot of people that can eat way more than I
Right.
can,
Mhm.
way more, and just don't gain weight. And I'm just like, you're just so lucky.
Some people's bodies are
Mm.
just like that.
If I eat
Mm.
anything,
We should accept each other anyway because we come in different shapes and sizes and complexions, but we give each other such a hard time.
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
complexion a thing out there as well? Complexion is a
Yeah, yeah. Like if they call them yellow bones, like fair in complexion, they are more preferred as such, for most men. But others, they'll you okay with your skin color and stuff like that. And like with the in America, I just wanted to ask you guys, just out of context, is there help given to people who take drugs? Because I've seen people standing but they're sleeping. Is there any sort of help that's been given?
Not adequate.
Like,
Not
Yeah,
oh,
not adequate help. Not
right.
okay.
it's help out there, but you really have to seek it out. And
That's what I was about to say.
in a place like New York, whereas the big
Yeah.
city is similar to LA, where you'll see people on the streets that are literally, drug sick, but
Mm-hmm.
people don't go out there to help them, even though that there's programs for them.
Right.
So the outreach needs to be better. We need to have more programs and stuff like that because it is a major problem out here, and people just will rather just look at somebody and say instead of helping
Yeah, yeah.
helping that person. Like, it's a disease, just like a mental health disease is a disease. The drug addiction is a disease. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
wakes up in the morning and says, "I want to be a crackhead today."
Exactly. And then the way that
Yeah.
we make fun of them, we use them as entertainment, like they're funny to us or whatever. People being
Mm,
portrayed in movies and stuff like that. There's this perception of what a crackhead is, what they
mhm.
look like, stuff like that. But people really don't. And I feel like we're too comfortable walking around with people being homeless and on drugs. We're too comfortable walking around. That's why we said, like, around here that's rare. Like you rarely see anybody
Mhm.
homeless or whatever, because somebody got some family they gonna live with or something like that.
Yeah.
Is it like that in South Africa? Is it more like, or is there a big homeless population, or is it like?
Yeah. Yeah, we do have homeless people in South Africa, in the cities mostly. Um, Not in the townships, no. In the city, maybe in Joburg, you will find homeless people. In Durban, you will find homeless people. Um, but they have, but we don't have as much of what you guys have here. Whatever it is that they've mixed up and they've given to those people. We don't have that yet in South Africa. I haven't seen anybody behave like that. But we do have one that has taken over. Um, and it's really, really sad because, like, when you just look and you just wonder, if I was ever given this opportunity, that's what I always tell myself. If these people didn't adopt me, this could have been me. And it could have easily been me. So you need to be thankful as much as you complain about things that you don't like, but look at the brighter side.
Mm.
There's
Yeah,
definitely two sides to every story. Like, I can't. Oh man, the some of the things that some similarities, but there's some differences.
yeah.
Like, what are there like drug issues out there as well, or is it not as prominent out there?
In a city, in Joburg mostly, because that's where you get in the other side of Joburg, other part, that's where you get your drug lords. So they do have, but it's not like all over the towns. No, you won't find it like that all over the town.
So it seems like rural living is the same like here and
Yeah.
Yeah.
there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so if you're in the smaller town, people care more, caring more, but the
Right.
big city problems are big city problems. Like, I learned that
Right.
True.
growing up. That's why I've always been attracted to the South, and
Mm-hmm.
because my dad grew up there. The small town living, people actually caring about people, the community
Right.
Mm-hmm.
is a big thing. So you said you grew up were raised by white people. Was that
Yeah.
around the people that were around you as well? Or were you raised with any black people in your
No. The place where the suburbs where I was staying at when I grew up, it's only now recently that black people could actually afford to buy maybe houses, because I think it's similar like in Florida, houses that are by the
Mhm.
beach are more expensive, so it's like that as well. So it was more expensive. Um, so it's only a few, but now it looks like they're moving in. They're moving in.
That's a good thing.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I love it though.
Yeah.
I love to see us moving into areas and making the white people uncomfortable.
Right.
Because it used to be there goes the neighborhood, but I don't care. Come on, and I'm moving. Everybody come here with me.
And another different thing which I saw back home in South Africa, as much as there is poverty and we've got our own country problems, people are generally happy. Um, like here, I've got a neighbor, but I would never tell you how many times I see her. or I see the child or the husband. It's like everybody minds their own business. That's why back home, like when you wake up, the first thing you do is greet your neighbor. Like sometimes you would cook and then you eat with your neighbors. That's how we are back home. If you don't have sugar, your neighbor's gonna come ask for sugar. Oh, get some sugar there, get the rice there. It's like we are a family, but we're not a family. We're just neighbors. Like they coexist. But here it's like you mind your own business, I'm minding my own business.
I feel like in the South, it's
Yeah.
more likely for people to be more so family oriented. Like everybody knows everybody, so we try to help. It's not perfect, but it's the best you're gonna get when it comes to being family oriented or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think in the cities they definitely mind their business.
Definitely, and the reason behind it is because people will take advantage of you that way. Because you don't know who that person knows
Oh.
and who that person knows, especially like in gang territory where I used to live in San Bernardino, California, which is like an hour outside of Los Angeles. It's
Yeah.
gang infested, so people, the chances of you bringing somebody into your house and then they see what you have, and then they're not the problem. The person that you brought in is not the problem, but they might talk about it to the wrong person. Like, hey, I went over to Royalty
Yeah.
Real's house and he had a big screen TV and it was really nice. And it was just like, oh yeah. Next thing you know, your TV comes up missing because it's
Oh
safe.
hell, we getting that jump back.
Exactly.
Yeah, stole my TV.
Done passed through so many different people in California that by the time you find it, it's 3 cities over and it's some Mexican somebody Mexican.
Oh, they gonna come to your house. You stole my TV. Get that back.
That's one thing I love
Ah,
about
right.
small town living. If everybody knows everybody, it's easy to ask around. You know who did it. You know who stole your little girl bike. Let's go there and get it back.
Or even like if people see somebody going near your stuff, they're gonna intervene. Like, what are you doing? That's not your stuff. Why are you touching their stuff? Why are you in their yard? They call
Oh my
you.
God.
I just saw such and such at your house or whatever. Like we do watch each other's back over here, and also because most of us are family. So
Hmm.
I have another question for you. What is
Okay.
the okay? So I want a comparison. What is the best part of where you grew up at, and the worst part of where you grew up at? And then I want a comparison to where you are in New York now. Like, what is the best part that you found so far, and the worst part?
Okay. The worst, I think, was not having friends. Just not fitting in. That must have been the worst. Um, I think also the worst was also waiting so long to have kids because right now I can't have them anymore. So the best part, the best part is the opportunities that were afforded to me. And my other best part was when I got here, when I left home, I didn't actually know that I can't have kids because such medical procedure or examination, it's it's a privilege to have it done, basically, and it's expensive. So how I got it here, I don't understand. I still don't know. So here I got it done, and it wasn't for the purpose of checking. It was just I went to a gynecologist because I wasn't feeling well, so I just went to check up. So the gynecologist says, you know what, um, there's something that I want to check. So then he did a few scans, and then he said, no, I think we need to send you to what do you call these people? It's where they inject your uterus with water, with a tube of water to see what
It's
if
something
with the
specialist. I can't remember the name of it.
yeah. So I got that done, and then after that, then I ended up doing the actual operation where they put those two things, like they look like needles. They poke around to see, and then the other one, the camera, is the one that goes into your belly button. That's how I found out that actually I couldn't have kids. For me, if I was in South Africa still, I would have never been afforded that opportunity. I think a lot of women health is not taken as much serious as health is taken seriously here. The only problem I have here, they can make you do a procedure and then bill you, even though you didn't ask to do the procedure. How does that work? How?
The medical system
Yeah.
is broken here. It's
Yes.
broke.
The
It
thing is,
definitely
I was
is.
slapped with a bill of $1,800 and something dollars. Yeah, I think so. Because I had an episode in November. So the next door neighbor, because they were the only people that were around here, because I was shouting on the phone, I was hysterical. So 911 came. They didn't tell me where they were taking me, but then they took me for observation at some hospital or something. And then I didn't say I want to go there, but then I was slapped with a bill of 1,300 and something. But I didn't
Yeah.
want to go there. How
That
is that
is
possible?
that is textbook America. Like
American. That's the most American thing
I've
that
ever heard for
happens.
real. I still have medical bills that are from when I was younger. I have a $500 uh
Oh my God.
ambulance bill just because
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's
The
Yeah,
ambulance
yeah.
bills are
I swear
expensive.
I'm gonna tell a quick story. I got stabbed when I was 18
Oh
years old.
God.
When I was 18 years old, I got stabbed. And
Yeah.
I told my friend to call the ambulance, and then he was like, "Bro, it's gonna cost a whole lot of money." I was bleeding out, so he was just like, "Bro, just let me put you
Oh
in the back
God.
of my car and take you to the hospital. You'll get there faster." Number
That's
one,
how bad it
and
is.
it's really that bad. So I was bleeding. I soaked through a bath towel. My blood was soaking, like you could wring out a bath towel with my blood. I was bleeding that bad. But rather than pay that bill, I
I
rushed to
didn't
the
know.
I got rushed to the hospital.
Yeah. The healthcare, like the technology is advanced, but it's expensive. It's expensive too. So yeah, we'll see you, but you're gonna have to pay for it. Like you're gonna have to pay for
Yeah.
it.
The one
Well,
thing that it's crazy that like a lot of other countries don't have the emergency room like we have. They have to save your life if it's possible in out here.
Yeah.
Like if you get shot, if you get stabbed, if you having a heart attack, they have to save your life. But that does not stop them from billing you and putting you in all kinds
Oh
of debt.
God.
mhm,
I want to say this for everybody too. Like healthcare is a right, not a privilege.
it
We should all be
definitely
treated the
is.
same. The technology is there. We all should have the right to the same healthcare worldwide. It sucks that you
Exactly.
go to different places like and it's worse. Like Mississippi healthcare is horrible, but California much better. New York healthcare I'm
Mm.
pretty sure is better than places in South Carolina. It's just
South Carolina healthcare pretty, it depends on where you at. Like in the bigger
Mhm.
cities, the healthcare is better because I have to go like 90 minutes from where I live to go
Oh my
see a
God.
sickle cell specialist. Like it's hard finding people, doctors
Mhm.
that specialize in certain things. So in bigger cities here, the healthcare is pretty good. You
Mhm.
know, you got hospitals that do research. Like the hospital I go to is a medical university. So they do
Yeah.
a lot of research and stuff. So that's pretty good. And they're starting to buy a lot of different medical places or
Mhm.
whatever. And I'm hoping it's going to get better because of that.
it
But
So
we'll
just
you
it,
guys also you guys also have like private hospitals and government hospitals,
yes.
because that's what we have in South Africa. Public
Yes.
see.
hospital you don't pay, even the ambulance you don't pay. But private hospital is where now they will bill you. Like you need to have a medical aid. You guys call it medical insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
There's but even here, even at the
yeah,
public
you gonna
hospitals,
pay for
you
both of them.
still gonna get billed. You
You
still
paying
go
for both private and
and
public.
the crazy part, it doesn't matter how sick you are, you didn't choose that. You go in there, there's an itemized bill that's gonna come
Yep.
out from even if they gave you Tylenol, they're gonna be a bill for the Tylenol they gave you.
Bandages, everything.
Bandages,
They
like
charging you for everything that
it's
you use.
it's
Oh
bad.
God.
What about out here? What are the favorite things that you've experienced out here, and the best part and the worst part about being in America so far?
I think safety. I feel very, very safe here. Um, just the fact that I know I can dial 911 and they are literally here in seconds. Like, that sense of security. My husband he works night shifts. So I'm always alone except for Friday and Saturday where he gets his days off. So I feel safe. I'm not even afraid of being alone, you know. So that's nice. And the only difficulty I'm facing right now is the subway. I still don't understand it. Like I still can't take a train from here to Manhattan. I don't know how to, because it's just way too confusing for me. Basically, I don't know how to.
Right.
So that's what I would love to learn, how to how to like use the public transport here. And the other nice thing about being here, I think the long distance relationship took its toll on me. My goodness, I don't know how I survived. Like why? Because my fiance was here and I was back in South Africa, and the entire lockdown he was here. He couldn't come home, and up until last year. So this is a nice part of being here.
I just tell people that they called it when I was growing up. They called it shacking up. Shack up and
Shack up. Yeah,
figure out if
before
you
you
like
get married.
figure out if you like that person before you get
No.
married, because it's a lot of times like there's certain things people just can't deal with.
It's
You need to
annoying.
know that before you get married. Understanding
Yeah.
is in short supply everywhere.
Definitely.
Understanding is such a big thing that people need to start getting. One thing for the subway I would suggest is, I don't know if it's similar to California, but the way that I learned the system, it is very confusing, but you can
Mhm.
catch a bus within probably about a 4 hour period, like a big
Yeah.
area. There's buses and everything. I would just
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
take out like a week or so if you have the expendable money, and just ride on
Yeah.
it and figure out where it goes. Like take it all the way to the
Yeah.
end of the line and then get back on it and go back and then take the next one. Like just figure out, that's the only way you're gonna be able to figure out if somebody doesn't explain it to you. But for me, I'm a visual person, so I don't know if you're the same way.
Mhm.
But once you figure it out, okay, this stops here, here, and here. Okay, I'm in Manhattan now. Next thing you know, you're where you wanna be, and then you'll figure out how to get back. It's a journey, but it's fun. So
Yeah.
I would suggest that for you to learn. Um,
Mhm. You guys in America, you guys don't have this thing, the bride price. I spoke to you the other day about it.
yeah.
You guys totally don't pay anything to the bride's family when you get married? Nothing at all?
No.
Mm-mm.
My God.
Barely
Actually,
pay compliments.
the traditional way, and I just found this out. The traditional way
Mhm.
for a marriage in America is actually the bride's family is supposed to pay for the
The
service.
way.
Yeah. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen like
Wow.
that, but it was supposed to back in like the 40s, 50s, 60s and all of that. But now
Yeah.
no, like I asked my wife's
That's
dad,
backwards, ain't
right? I asked my wife's dad to marry her, but at the same time, it didn't matter if he said yes or no.
it? Like you were still gonna do it.
That was the
That's backwards, ain't it?
it
We
really
have that. You pay the bride. If for example I'm a virgin, then the more cows you will pay, or the more cash I'm worth if I'm still a virgin. Do you guys have
nah.
virginity testing here? We have a trade. You should watch it. Actually, they actually show it on TV, or just check it online. It happens once a year. It's called Umkhosi Womhlanga, where they check, like see if you're still a virgin. The maidens will do like traditional dances. It runs through a whole week, and they have it once a year. You've never seen it before?
I've
Like they
never
were
seen
bare
Never.
breasted. Like they really?
Never. Mm-mm.
I've never heard
I'll
of
send
that.
you the name, then you can just Google it and watch it. It's very, very interesting. You get as old as people at the age of 45, they're still virgins, they still go for testing because they haven't found a husband yet. Up until you find a husband, then you feel, oh, okay, I'm ready now. So then you get married. That's how some men choose their brides. They go to those traditional things that they go to, like then they check, and then if you see somebody you love, then you offer the bride's family those cows, because obviously you're going to pay a lot because she's a virgin.
Right.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like it's the old way of thinking, or do you feel like it's something that should be done still?
I think they should do it. The reason why I think it saves a lot of these young girls from a lot, because for them it's pride. As a Zulu person, it's one of the prides that we have, like the Zulu maidens. Um, so they are like in competition, like, you know what? I am not gonna indulge in any sexual activity up until I get a husband. So they are competing amongst each other. So it's sort of like prevents them from having because we know now teenage sex is all over, so these kids are experimenting, and it's very, very sad because they're getting pregnant at 13 and 14, and it's not good at all. So if you've got something that can actually curb such a thing, I think they should go ahead and do it, but I would have never done it. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. No,
Over
but
here,
to be fair, old women check you. It's not like men are nowhere close there. So it's old grannies that have seen life and they know exactly what they're looking for. So yeah, so you safe. You safe basically.
right.
Wow.
Over here, there's really no way to tell if you're a virgin or not. Like you can check
There used to
certain
be a way to
things.
hymen, but that's
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, yeah.
you can still have that intact and you not be a virgin. So they give us this thing called pap smears, pap tests, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
usually to just check for like the health, like for health issues and stuff like
yeah.
that. But as far as virginity, they'll tell you, like the doctors will tell you, there's no way to tell if you're a virgin or not. There's no like for sure way to tell. So we don't do
Yeah.
that.
but there is the church culture that is
Yeah.
what's it called? Purity. There's the purity
Purity,
culture
chastity,
yeah.
purity.
Yeah, where
Oh really?
they encourage people,
Mhm.
the women
Mhm.
not to, and they make you feel bad if you know
Do
decide to or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I grew up in that thing too, where it was very very big. Like you better
Mhm.
save it for marriage, or else gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
So when I lost my virginity when I was younger, I literally went to church and I asked him to pray over me because I thought I was gonna go to hell. I was crying. I was just like, I pulled the youth pastor aside and I said, "So,
Oh my
pastor,
God.
I'm sorry, but I have to tell you something." And his face was like so serious. He was like, "What is it? What is it?" I lost my virginity. And he looked at me like, "Boy, I thought you was gonna tell me you robbed a bank."
Oh my God.
His
No.
big question was, "Did you use a condom?" I was just like, "Yes." He was like, "Okay, I'm gonna pray for you." And it,
Oh God.
it's
Ah.
a big conversation. The last
It
thing,
used to be a huge thing though back in the day, but now
Mhm.
yeah, people
it's
are
not.
more liberal now. The last thing
Mhm.
I want to touch on. Go ahead, go ahead.
How is the xenophobia? I just want to find out how is xenophobia here? I don't know. It's because maybe I'm just usually indoors. But do you guys have xenophobia?
I need to look that up because I need to because I know what I
Me
heard the
too to
word.
make sure. But yeah,
It's
there's
like
that
other
here.
Africans not liking other Africans just because
Yeah.
they are not from, like, for example, in South Africa, like, South Africans will have xenophobia against Nigerians because Nigerians are not from South Africa. So those Africans will feel like you people come from your country and you come to our country to take our jobs. Do you guys have that kind of thing here?
Yes,
They be stealing our
Yes.
jobs, they stealing our women,
Terribly.
they having
People
kids with
even
our
get
wives.
killed. People even get killed for it.
yes,
So
absolutely.
countries are similar in a way.
Yes.
There's xenophobia when it comes to Mexicans a lot, even amongst the black people. But like the Mexicans, like I hear that a lot in California because the
Hmm.
border is right here. But actually,
Yeah.
if we know our history, California is Mexico, so is Texas. Like this was
Right.
their area first, so they should be here. But
Yeah.
like people are afraid that they're taking their jobs and all of that when it's really not rooted
Yeah.
in fact. It's not rooted in fact because I ask most black people, would you go do the job that they're doing? No. So
No. So why you even
they're
mad?
not taking your job. They're not. So but even like if I were to move some other places, like I've seen there are people like
Hmm.
people make fun of people from the South that come out here sometimes because oh you talk funny.
Yeah, because of the way we talk and stuff like that. Or they think that we're dumb because of the
Yes,
way we talk.
yes. It is very, very it's weird to me. I don't like it.
I
And
don't like it either.
Yeah.
I'm never judgmental. I judge people off of their character.
Hmm.
How you are
Same.
to me. Like, and I could be friends with anybody. That's why I'm happy I made a friend that's from another country. That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Now when I go, he can tell me where to go and what to do.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
Definitely. And
Exactly.
then the dating scene, how is it here? Because I didn't really get to date when I got here. Like in South Africa, if okay, this is what we know. Like if somebody's gonna take you out, they actually have to pay. But from what I've heard here, it's 50-50. We both pay like for the bill. And
Mm.
like here you guys don't ask a person out like literally. Like in South African can take you a month to ask a person out. Like not as in do you wanna go on a date? Like to how do you put it, man?
Is there like a
Um
ritual?
You mean to be in a relationship?
yeah, if you want to be in a relationship with a person, you have to
Okay.
be nice to them, ask them like it's like you selling yourself to them. Like a guy will sell
Right.
themselves to the lady up until the lady feels like, oh, okay, he's good enough, he's sweated enough, so yeah, we can go on a date. I like you, you're my boyfriend now, or whatever. But here, that's not how you guys do it.
It depends. It depends
Yeah,
on
also where you at.
it depends on where you're at and who you're talking to. Because some people, I've heard the people like, I've never been in a relationship without me asking the woman to be my girlfriend. I've never
Mhm.
like been in a situation where I'm like, hey, will you go out with me? Like, will you?
Mm-hmm.
But I've
Mhm.
heard people that they just we're hanging out long enough. Well,
And then we
let
in a relationship.
be in
Never
a
happened
relationship.
to me either.
How?
You gotta get
How?
my permission.
How? Like you're not magically. I don't understand it. I
And
think that's
also when it comes to paying, it depends on what area you're in. Because in the South, I'm not gonna speak for the whole South, but I know around here, it's
Yeah.
just kind of something men just pay. Like it's just kind of something we don't even discuss. Like it just happens a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say that you're not gonna come across men that want to go 50-50 or don't want
Mm-hmm.
to pay. You will, but it's rare.
to me.
And
In my book,
the girlfriend allowance. Sorry,
go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
got
What's the
that.
question?
What was the
The
question?
girlfriend allowance. Do you guys also have that? Like if you are dating, if you're in a relationship with somebody,
I
you just girlfriend and
wish.
boyfriend. Do you guys have girlfriend allowance where the guy has to give you money at the end of the month to go do your hair, to go buy stuff for yourself,
I
or
wish.
just basically girlfriend allowance?
I
You guys
wish
don't have
they
that?
did. I
No,
wish. Sometimes you'll get guys that will do that, but it's not something that has to be done.
it's
I
not a
wish.
Mhm.
requirement.
And
Or
now we're in a space where men don't want to pay for anything no more.
Yeah.
So they're tired. They decided that they're tired of it.
I think there's the culture of women and men who are using people for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you people are more on now where let's get to know each other and so nobody takes a loss kind of thing because
And also because
Yeah.
they don't got money.
they don't.
Also because I'm broke. I can't afford it. Because if they could, they would date women who want them to give them things.
Mhm.
I think it should be on whoever asks who out because I know that traditionally in South Africa, does it the man ask the woman out, right? Does it happen?
Yeah. It's
Yes.
such a bad thing for a woman to ask a man, oh my God, you will be known like a cheap, loose woman. You do that. You don't do that.
Wow.
You don't do that.
I mean,
You
it's
don't do
sort of
that.
like that here. Like, I think some people believe that the man is supposed to initiate when it comes to dating and asking out, but then there's some men who
Yeah.
are like, I would like for women to ask me out if they're interested. I've never asked a guy out ever.
I'd never do that too. No way.
I,
It just doesn't feel okay.
I think it would ever float your boat, but I've never been the one that I've never been approached by a woman to ask me out. So I don't know
Yeah.
what I would have done, but I probably would have been like shocked, like, you sure you're talking to me?
Right. Because like it's rare that women do it, but I do feel like women are doing it more now.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
And then polygamy, do you guys, is it allowed here?
Depends on the state.
Yeah, it
Oh,
depends on the
okay.
state.
Yeah, because back home you can actually, especially in KwaZulu Natal, you can actually take up to four wives if you want to.
There, it depends on the state, but even then, some people still look at it funny. People are
Yeah,
not as understanding as they should be, because
Hmm.
it's I think it's taboo. Don't you feel like that too, Boonie? It's kind of like a taboo thing in some
what to
communities
have
to
to
have
have,
more than one wife or more than one husband.
but it's not taboo to be with a cheater,
Right.
You see?
To be to
which
be
makes no sense to
to
me.
be unfaithful is cool though. So
Right.
they have this whole songs about it now. I have a side piece and all of that.
Yeah. And people who actually are side pieces, they know and they're okay with it.
Very bad. That's bad.
Life.
That I do want to talk about a little bit the TikTok thing. So I see that you that's how I met you because actually I have another friend that's from Eswatini. Is that how you say it? It's a
Eswatini. Yes, it's
it's,
just next to South Africa.
it's
Yeah.
next to South Africa, and
Hmm.
I think you were two are like our friends, and I think you were on her live or vice versa or something like that. And that's how I first saw you.
Actually, what's her name? Okay, Zazu. Okay,
Zazu,
yeah, yeah,
Boonie.
yeah. She calls herself Zazu because most people don't know how to pronounce her African name because we all got African names which are very difficult for people to pronounce. So
I
we,
told her that I will be the one to figure it out because I really want to know how to say it. Because
And,
I hate
and I
yeah,
feel like don't shorten. If that's the case, don't shorten y'all names for people to
please
pronounce.
don't
They
let them
be
figure it out.
lying. All of these names that we got that's hard to pronounce, let them figure out how to pronounce your name.
because when I
Don't
tell
shorten
people
it.
to call me my African name, they struggling. They even struggle to say my surname. So that's why I always use my second name. Then I just say Fiona or just say Fifi. Then it's
I was
easier
gonna
for them.
ask you that. What is your name?
Thembeka.
Timea?
Timbea.
Yeah,
Timbea?
Thembeka. Yeah, Thembeka. It means if somebody
Timbeka.
says uthembekile, it means you're trustworthy. Well,
That is
I love
not
that.
hard.
People,
Timbega.
Thembeka.
but
Oh,
they
please.
can pronounce Russian names, but they can't pronounce our names.
Timbega, that is beautiful. I love that.
Actually, you need
People
to
do the
ask your
same with
friend from
my
Eswatini.
name.
She will tell you about the traditional where they walk like bare straight, no, with no bra, nothing, and then they go get tested for virginity. You should ask her. They do it in Swaziland as well. They also do it once
That's
a
what she
year.
told me.
It's
She told me that
very
that name and she said Swaziland. That's what she told me.
yeah, Swaziland.
She told me about the monarch there, the king. She said
Yeah. Oh my
country
God! Don't even
country is
speak
beautiful, but
about him.
the king is terrible.
Don't. He's got. The last time I checked, he had 26 wives. Yeah. Don't. That guy. When I say corruption, that's he's a walking dictionary of corruption.
We
It's
know
bad.
something
It's
about
bad.
that.
But I was thinking about I was watching the TikTok hearings today. They're trying to get rid of TikTok. If it was not for TikTok, this podcast today would not be happening at all.
Right.
Because I connected with Boonie on here, and I also connected with you off of there. So it's a beautiful thing. Before we wrap up, I want to know: do you have any questions for us at all? And
Right.
willing to answer whatever you want.
Oh my God. Um, I don't have any questions actually. I think we spoke about everything. And I love the fact that you guys gays and lesbians are respected. They're not attacked. There are some parts in my country where they are still not safe. So it's really, really good to see that they can be free here. They can be able to even dress up in any way they want to and identify as how they want to. And that's one good thing I saw when I came here. I love that. I really, really do.
It
I
was
think
a
back home
long
it's still
struggle to get
taboo.
there. It was a
It's
long
It's
like
struggle.
and still they still may like they're safe, but in
It's still
certain places
dangerous.
and around certain people, they
yeah,
aren't.
because
There,
they be like, take that child to the pastor. The pastor needs to pray for that child. Ain't no way God created you a man and you and I a woman. And you can. These are some of the things that lead to depression because you cannot be in a closet for very long. You can't live your life the way you want to because people are there to judge you. They just want to judge you.
Right.
As
we would go
people,
crazy
we
then.
always hate what we don't understand. I really, I wish
Fear
to live
is
in a
it's
country
more
where
so fear. They're afraid of you. And I always ask that question, what scares you about that? About
yeah.
someone being themselves
Hmm.
It shouldn't be a
at
fear.
all.
There's actually it's crazy because this is in our world right now, but in Uganda they just passed a law where it is illegal to be gay.
Yeah, yeah, you can be sent to jail.
For just
And the president said it out loud, like he just didn't care.
but I'm not surprised at all because they had a video when I was like I was a kid, they had not a kid, but I was like 18, 19, the video came out. It was hilarious when it came out to me, but uh it was a guy, I don't know if you look it up on YouTube. Look up Eat the Poo Poo on YouTube. Eat the poo poo. Eat the poo poo. That was a whole campaign that they had in Uganda
Yeah.
against gay people. So they said, so I watched this video and then they have the thing called anal licking and they actually eat the poo poo. I'm just like,
Oh my God.
why does what this man does bother you so much that you looked up? To me, I'm like, you looked up a video, you watched that video. You had to be on some side of the internet to watch that video, but now you're trying to ban being gay in your country. Like something's wrong with
ooh, they wild, bro. They wild over there. I'm scared of that. They wild.
So say your name for me one more time so I can say it right.
I was trying to say it in my head too.
It's Thembeka. Thembeka. Yeah.
Thembeka, thank you so much for coming on and
Thank
sharing
you
your
so much,
story with
guys.
us. You were amazing.
It's nice meeting you.
I look forward
It
to
was
having
nice being here. And
Run it.
I just hope that you guys, the rent can go down in New York because it's hectic. Like the amount of rent I'm paying here, if I can take this money and save it like for 2 months, I can build myself a beautiful house in my country with it. $1,650 a month for rent is ridiculous, especially for a 1-bedroom. I don't know. This is just ridiculous. But anyway, yeah.
It is.
Well,
Yeah.
I would love to have you on again. If you have any topics that pique you out, I'll be in touch with you so we can have you back on. You're more than welcome on the R.E.A.L podcast anytime.
Also the Social Cycle podcast as well.
For real.
Thank you so much, guys.
This is awesome.
I think I'd love for my friend to actually come on. She's taken a different journey. She's just got married. She got married to somebody actually who is actually 35 years older than her. So I think if she can share her story, like because she met this guy online and they've been married and they are super happy. And I think she should share her story so that people can see that there is love,
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Link me with her and we should definitely be on because that'll be a great conversation. But I want to, like I said, I want to thank you for coming on. Thank you for everybody for watching. Of course, check us out on Spotify, YouTube, all of the places, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment. And if you're comfortable, I'll put your TikTok in the description so people can follow you as well. And I love you guys. Peace.
Night, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.